I was giving more creative energy away than I was keeping for myself. I was constantly thinking about project tasks, even in my sleep, and there was almost no time for me in my own calendar. Even after I crossed the finish line, I just felt depleted. I hadn't made content in months. And by the time I finally had the energy to get back to it, my mom literally asked me, "Is anyone going to show up?" I mean, I hadn't fallen off the face of the planet. I was still active in my Discord, my community, my friends' communities. I was still around. I just wasn't making content. I didn't have the energy to make content. I didn't have the time to make content, even when I did want to. It was a rough time. My longest client I've been working with for almost a decade. The flow is established. The roles are clear. The structure is constantly being refined. The project scope, at least in-house, is well defined. And every now and again, we'll have, late nights, early mornings. The project client might throw a couple curveballs our way, but we always over deliver. Like, it's clean. It's clean. Every production comes with its own set of challenges, but it's real rare for one to run us ragged. We had two good-sized projects happening within months of each other. So as Project A went into post-production, Project B went full send into pre-production. And at the same time, I was going into pre-production for Project C with another client. But the scope on that one felt like it was absolutely through the roof. Project C was a sizable online event that I was the producer for. And the team for that project was in full divide and conquer mode. But in terms of the list of tasks that were on my plate, I had to build the schedule for the 7-hour event with 14 panels, over 45 panelists, moderators for each of the panels, creator-led sessions, a virtual expo floor, and breakout networking sessions. I had to source and train a co-producer to operate one half of the event in vMix. I had to build two versions of the event in vMix that factored in the similarities and the differences between the side that I was going to be operating and the side that my co-producer was going to be operating. I had to sort and compile all of the ad breaks, commercials, interstitials that were going to be playing throughout the day on both sides of the production. I had to lead tech calls for all the on-screen talent over the course of several weeks. I had to film tutorial videos for the creator-led sessions alongside another teammate, build the overlay packages for the creator-led sessions for ease of accessibility. I had to lead show run-throughs and dry runs with my co-producer. We had to build test events in the host platform so that we didn't run the risk of manipulating the actual event that was going to go live. My co-producer and I had to build the music playlist for the event that matched the vibe. I had to plan and prep for the creator-led session that I was co-hosting alongside my friend for the day of the event, and still find time to eat and sleep and see the sunlight and leave my desk. I'm sure there are some tasks that I'm forgetting in the moment, but the point is, the plate was quintuple wide, and I was also the senior producer for Project B. A girl was tired. Now, Project B shot in mid-July. It was a 3-day shoot, mostly photo with a little bit of B-roll. So the post-production process wasn't a heavy lift on my end because there weren't hours and hours and hours of footage to review and re-review. Project C was set to happen at the beginning of August, so there was no time to breathe between the two projects, but I had already been working heavily on Project C for 3 months. My client workload usually consists of a couple hours a week, if that, depending on what projects I have going on at the time. But Project C said, forget all that, because I clocked 101 hours just for Project C in July. At my desk, it had gotten so insane that on the first day of set for Project B, after we wrapped, I had to go to urgent care to have my hand x-rayed because it hurt to hold and lift simple stuff. Writing was painful. Turns out I had been overworking myself so much on Project C that I had messed around and got tendonitis in my right thumb and needed to wear a brace for an undetermined amount of time because I still had to make it to Project C in August. As of recording this, it is early September and I still wear the brace almost 24 hours a day, except for when I'm filming, washing dishes, whatever. We make it to the event in August and it is chef's kiss. My co-producer and I absolutely body the production. I had been putting everything that I had into the parts of the production that were mine to own and oversee. And I kid you not, when the CEO gave their closing statements at the very end of the night, I legit cried tears of relief for a moment. Like, it was done. The team had put our all into bringing the client's vision to life, and it was finally complete. After that, my plan was to take the rest of August off, reset, recharge, and revisit the visions that I had for my own content, all while prepping for a mid-August move that fell through the day of the move. But that's another story for another time, and once that video is made, I will link it in the corner and in the description. I hadn't had time to game. I hadn't had the energy to create. I hadn't had the room in my schedule for a decent nap for months. And then I finally boot up my Xbox. I hop into some Overwatch with my partner, and I legit couldn't play for more than 3 hours because of the pain I started to feel in my thumb towards the end of our session. I had worked myself so aggressively for my client's vision that I couldn't even enjoy something that I loved doing when it was all said and done. I let my hand rest for a few days, tried to boot up a game, and within 30 minutes had to stop. I couldn't stream content the way I would usually. I couldn't enjoy my downtime the way I wanted to. And I had no real reference for how long it was going to take for my hand to heal because of how long I had to go before I could let it rest. It was infuriating. And the wildest part is that I hadn't even been working my fingers to the bone for me at the time. It had all been for someone else's vision. I didn't have any fuel left for me after it all. And by the time I had time to refill, I couldn't even use it. But it wasn't all bad because it forced me to do some things differently. Spend less time at my desk and force my hand to rest, which gave me more time to binge One Piece from the beginning. Shift some of my favorite games from console to mouse and keyboard because I needed to play, but I had to be smart about it so that I was still taking care of my hand. Finally, build my new standing desk that I had bought for the move and slide my treadmill underneath of it. That way on the days where I have to be at my desk for hours on end, I can make healthier decisions that will benefit me in the long term. It forced me to give my brain the room to run free, brewing up new content ideas instead of constantly checking for work pings or setting alarms for back-to-back meetings, which is how 4 Quarter Creative got cooked up because I finally had the time to think about what I wanted to work on for myself. And I'm actually doing it. I'm actually bringing it to life. I am very proud of myself. Lastly, it forced me to reevaluate how I structure my time. I am lucky enough to be at the intersection of being passionate about what I do, being good at it, and finding purpose in it. But that also means that it is very easy for me to get entirely wrapped up in projects that cross those intersections as they come my way. I love the work that I do, and I'm immensely grateful for the teams and the clients that I work with. It is fascinating to watch myself rise to a challenge and see what I'm capable of doing, especially when other people are counting on me to get it done. I'm resilient, but I should not have to drag myself through mud and hot rocks to understand what that means. I look at what I'm capable of doing and learning and solving in 30 plus hours, 80 plus hours, 100 plus hours. And you put this thing out into the world, celebrate the journey, and it lives on as this really cool thing that you were a part of that is no longer yours. And in a lot of cases, was never yours to begin with. And there can be a lot of beauty and reward in that. I really do believe that there are times for that to be nurtured. but it makes me hungry to know, to see what it would look like if this really cool thing being brought to life through countless hours of intention and passion and curiosity and trial and error was mine and stayed mine and was able to keep being nurtured by me. A while ago, my mentor reminded me that I'm a one, not a two. And I'm excited to see what it looks like to be my own one. And that doesn't mean that I can't be other people's one. It just means that I have to be my own one as well. I have to advocate for myself and fight to bring the dreams that I have for myself to life. And it's not always an external fight. Most of the time, it's a matter of me lovingly yelling at myself to make room for me, leave space for me. The way I get on my friends when I see them running around taking care of everybody but themselves, I need to make the effort to be a friend to myself in that way as well. So here's to saving space for you, to not leaving yourself and your goals and your dreams on the back burner. Here's to occupying space unapologetically and transferring good energy into every arena that I enter. Until next time.